Imagine discovering a ship drifting alone in the middle of the Atlantic, with everything you would expect to find on board, except the people. The sails were still up, the cargo was still there, food and water remained, but the captain, his wife, their 2-year-old daughter, and 7 crewmen had vanished. And more than 150 years later, nobody knows exactly why. The Mary Celeste was found by the Dei Gratia in December 1872, roughly 400 miles east of the Azores. The ship. The ship was called the Mary Celeste, and on November 7, 1872, she left New York bound for Genoa, Italy. At the helm was Captain Benjamin Spooner Briggs, an experienced and respected sailor. But this wasn't a voyage for Briggs alone. His wife, Sarah, and their 2-year-old daughter, Sophia, were aboard with him. 7 other crewmen completed the group, 10 people in total. Their journey initially appeared ordinary. Then on November 25th, the ship's log recorded its final entry. After that, silence. The voyage and passenger details are documented in historical accounts of the ship. The Discovery. 10 days later, another ship was sailing through the Atlantic. It was the Dei Gratia, commanded by Captain David Morehouse. The crew spotted another vessel in the distance. Something immediately looked wrong. The ship wasn't being properly controlled. Morehouse sent men to investigate, and when they climbed aboard, they discovered something that would become one of the greatest mysteries in maritime history. The ship was practically empty. No captain, no crew, no family. Just an abandoned vessel drifting across the ocean. The Dei Gratia crew found the Mary Celeste seaworthy and largely intact. Failure. What did they find? Here's where the real story gets strange. The ship wasn't a wreck. The cargo, 1,701 barrels of industrial alcohol, was largely intact. There was also enough food and water aboard to last for months. The belongings of the missing crew were still in their quarters. But there were clues that something had gone seriously wrong. The ship's only lifeboat was gone. One of its pumps had been disassembled, and about 3.5 feet of water was sloshing around in the bottom of the ship. So it appeared that the people aboard had left the Mary Celeste themselves. But why would an experienced captain abandon a seaworthy ship in the middle of the Atlantic? These details are among the strongest documented clues in the case. The first theories. Almost immediately, people began searching for an explanation. Pirates, mutiny, murder. Even stranger stories eventually appeared. But investigators found no convincing evidence of foul play, and the British inquiry ultimately found no proof that the crew had been murdered or attacked. So the mystery became even harder to explain. Why would 10 people voluntarily leave a ship that was still capable of sailing? And perhaps more importantly, what could have frightened an experienced captain enough to make that decision? The Gibraltar inquiry found no evidence of foul play, although speculation continued for decades. The pump theory. One modern investigation proposed a much less supernatural possibility. Before the disappearance, the Mary Celeste had faced rough weather. One of its pumps was found disassembled, and the ship had water in its hull. The theory suggests that Captain Briggs may have become concerned that the ship was taking on too much water. There's another important detail. The ship's chronometer may have been inaccurate, meaning Briggs could have believed he was somewhere different from his actual position, and the crew had recently passed the Azores. If the captain believed the ship was in greater danger than it actually was, he may have decided to abandon it while land was still within sight. But that's the important word, may. It is a theory, not a proven explanation. A modern reconstruction, discussed by Smithsonian, proposed that rough weather and inaccurate chronometer and pump problems could have contributed to an evacuation. The alcohol theory. There's another famous theory. Remember those 1,701 barrels of industrial alcohol? 9 were found empty. One possibility is that alcohol leaked from those barrels and produced vapors that worried the captain. Perhaps Briggs feared an explosion and ordered everyone into the lifeboat. But there's a problem. The rescuers didn't report smelling alcohol fumes, and there was no evidence proving that an explosion had occurred. So once again, it's possible, but we can't prove it. The 9 empty barrels were made of red oak, which is more porous and could have leaked. Smithsonian notes that the evidence does not establish an explosion. The mystery. And this is what makes the Mary Celeste so haunting. We know the ship existed. We know 10 people were aboard. We know the ship was found without them. We know the lifeboat was missing. And we know the ship eventually reached Gibraltar without its original crew. But we don't know what happened after they left. No survivor ever returned to explain it. No definitive evidence has ever solved the mystery. The fate of the 10 people remains unresolved. Ending. So here's the question. If you were Captain Briggs, what could possibly make you leave a seaworthy ship in the middle of the Atlantic? A dangerous leak? Fear of an explosion? A navigation mistake? Or something we haven't considered? What do you think happened to the crew of the Mary Celeste? Subscribe to Daily Tales Studio for more mysteries hidden inside history. In